7 reasons newer agents are beating experienced agents. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm seeing some of these trends that's starting to happen. So many experienced agents have incredible skills, knowledge, relationships. However, the market has changed dramatically. In many cases, newer agents are starting to outperform veteran agents because they're adapting faster. So let's really get into it and see what's going on and how we can improve. All right, number one, the very first thing, they're faster to respond, right? Today's consumers expect Amazon level of speed, right? A lead's filled out online at 8:03 p.m. They don't expect a call tomorrow. They expect a response now, right? So this speed, this quick, right? Newer agents are certainly used to that in a lot of the social media that they're engaged in. It's very fast, quick hitting. It's not always the same older rules that are applying. So example, a buyer requests information, let's say on a site, Zillow, or wherever it's at. Agent A calls in 3 minutes. Agent B calls the next morning. Who gets the appointment? Agent A, the one that followed up, right? So what new agents do really well, they use a lot of AI to help, whether in text or responding. They set up instant lead alerts, answer the calls after hours, follow up quickly and consistently, and they're constantly roaming their social media. So when those opportunities are happening, it's fast, right? They go quickly. So they're following up quickly and consistently. So an action step is try to contact every new lead within 5 minutes whenever possible, right? And just staying alert, staying up to date, and using any tools that you can to help automate or simplify or organize that process. Okay, number two, they're using AI and tech, right? Technology. Many newer agents don't see technology as optional. They see it as a competitive advantage. So they're using AI in all sorts of things, right? Whether it's writing emails, creating social media posts, right, at scale, generating listing descriptions, building YouTube content, or helping follow up with leads automatically. So an experienced agent might take longer to do these. So it could be 3 hours in content creation where they're almost doing it, within a few minutes. A new agent is using AI, a week's worth of content, much faster. Newer agents are getting more exposure because they're producing more content more consistently. So you've got to look at the ways that you can use AI in your business to accelerate it or help. And if you're not sure, jump in my paid group, go over that, or in free. Make sure you guys are subscribing so you're watching all the videos that I'm going to be putting out. We'll have some topics covered on that. So make sure you're subscribing, liking, sharing, posting. Please, please, please. It really helps the channel since 80% are not subscribed, but we get a lot of views and that just keeps accelerating. So if you could help me out and subscribe, that would be great. Okay, number three, they're creating more video content, right? People are hiring agents, that they know, like, and trust. We know this. Video is helping build that trust faster than almost anything else. So they are cranking content, right? And people are consuming it. So now a homeowner watches 10 of your YouTube videos, right? 20 Instagram reels, several market updates. If you're not doing this, start even at one. But by the time they contact, they feel like they already know you. I get this all the time. When people meet me or come up to me or see me, they're like, oh, yeah, I've seen you, I've done this, or from whatever the social media that they've consumed, and they're building that relationship. That's a huge advantage. And the newer agents, a lot of them are doing this at higher frequency, right? So, and they're getting that competitive advantage. Content ideas, of course, could be local business spotlights, market updates, open house tours, buyer tips. I love the tour where they run through seller mistakes, top 5 reasons to live here, top 5 reasons not to live here. Go around different neighborhoods, put out things. I think the common mistakes that people make is a great video too. Look for things, kind of building off a great call to action. But you want to we'll post one video every single day for the next 30 days and see what happens. It massively impacts everything. You just have to be consistent. Okay, number 4, they're hungrier, right? They're trying so hard to make it. Most new agents, they don't have a huge database. They don't have a large one. They don't have all these repeat clients. They don't have like the referral business. So because of that, they have to hustle. I mean, let's think about it. How many of the older agents or the more experienced agents, they have all these things. It's easier. But when that doesn't start to work the same way that it used to, and I know some of you are out there that clicked on this are feeling exactly that. It's not working quite as well. That's because, right? Obviously, there's things going on, but it's also you have agents that are hungry, that are getting after it. And they may or may not be telling you that they're kind of taking a look at some other options. So if a new agent's doing, 30 calls, 10 texts, 5 social media posts, 2 networking events, or checking their, while the other more experienced agents checking their emails, waiting for referrals, maybe complaining about the market, right? Well, guess who's creating more opportunities? You got to have those. I'm always going to say this, at least minimum 10 real estate conversations per day. So if you're hustling at a higher level, you're going to get those. If you're not and you're waiting and not taking the action, you're going to start to fall behind. So you can see how that shift can happen unless you're doing the same things that got you there, right? So you got to operate like you're brand new. That's the action step. Even if you've been licensed for 20 years, start to put that pep in your step. Start to hustle. Start to create that content. Start to build things that are going to generate. Or otherwise, it's going to be a slow switch. And you got to be careful because, right, someone could take over that spot of what you've been used to getting it because they're seeing the content and they're starting to like that other person or starting to trust that. Right now you have competition. You want to keep going really hard. If you have built that up, that's great, but you've got to keep maintaining the work to keep that edge, right, in that lead. Number 5, this is true. They're more coachable. One of the biggest killers of growth is believing you know everything. Right? New agents, they're going to attend the training. They're going to do the role playing. They're going to ask questions, right? They're going to implement things immediately. The speed at which you implement is huge. Okay. If a coach is teaching, right, that new listing appointment script that's been refined, and a new agent uses that afternoon, an experience might say, look, I've been doing the same thing for 15 years. It works. Yes, but we still have to test to just see where this is at compared. If the newer agent's doing that and it's working really well, right, for whatever the updated version of it is, or having more success, right, because they're doing more social media posts with calls to action, they're getting those opportunities, they're implementing something because the coach is telling them, hey, I want you to do this. A lot of times we think we know everything and we just don't do it. We're like, nah, I'm good. Okay, no problem. But I can tell you, in a lot of people that I've coached, this was true. I thought more experienced people really felt they had it down and were not as open. When I've had newer people, newer agents, they just did whatever I told them to do. And they can have a lot of times on that newer activity of teaching a lot of success quickly. So you have to ask yourself, what would a beginner do differently, right? Or even trying something to test it. Those are big things that can help. Being coachable, just being able to try something that's new, not just relying on all the same things that we've done, especially if that's not delivering the results that we're used to or we have gotten, right? If we're seeing that downward trend, if we're seeing that pipeline not quite as full, then I would strongly suggest, right, get in my paid coaching, and I'll show you very quickly, there's always a next step that you need to be implementing, okay? I'll put that link in the comments for you guys. Okay, they understand attention is the new currency. So years ago, you could succeed with just, like the basic stuff of the old school, some postcards, some newspapers ads, some farming, right? Wow, maybe even calling mixed in. But today, attention is everything. So a newer agent with 500 followers and growing, consistent weekly content, they're going to generate more business. Why? Because a lot of the experienced agents, no one's even seeing them online, right? They're not really trying to grow that out. They're just there, right? Consumers are, they can't hire agents if they don't know they exist, right? So action step, if you become the most visible real estate agent, in your market or are building those things, right? A Facebook group, network, group, doing different things, posting your YouTube channel, creating content on social media constantly, great posts, and giving great value, truly caring about people, right? Doing those webinars, first time better webinar. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But if you're putting yourself out there and building that following, it's so much easier than the older way. So you want to make sure you're doing that and capitalizing. If you have that, you got to start moving and start doing those things. Okay, number seven, they're building communities, not just databases. This is so true, right? We're getting right into it. I know these work since I have them, right? I know because I get over 20 million views, right? From just my Facebook group and a few things. It works. You're getting chances where other people simply are not. So you just start today, build that Facebook group, right? And make it of what they would want. If it's a home buyer workshop, it's YouTube, right? Email newsletters, build things. Because if agent A has let's say 1,000 names in their CRM, and agent B has 500 people that are actively engaging with their content each month, which one wins? Agent B is often going to win because they have stronger relationships, connections, especially if they're following up and it's growing. Because that 5,000 CRM, if you're not really doing that much with it, but the other people are seeing you every day and they're engaged, they're watching your content. I get always people reaching out and say, Frank, oh my gosh, that's such amazing this, or oh, I did this, implemented that. I'm seeing that feedback, right? I'm trying to pick trending topics or things that are going to help you and give value. You can just have names in a database, that's great, but I'm always going to ask, what are you doing with it? And how are you building up your other social media, right? That's going to connect with them on a daily basis. So real quickly, right? Really care, collect that engagement and build out things that are going to help. So the real truth, a lot of agents in 2026, they're not necessarily like the newer ones, aren't going to necessarily be the smartest, oldest, more experienced, but the ones that are winning, they're going to adapt quickly. They're going to be continuously learning. They're going to create content consistently and outpacing the experienced agent. That is a key. Following up relentlessly, leveraging AI and tech, building relationships at scale, the one-to-many, right? As well as the one-to-one. And we're going to stay visible. You got to stay visible in that market. Experience is a huge advantage, but only when it's combined with growth, right? It's not just going to be experience alone. It's going to reward relevance. So just final thoughts. You can adapt, you can change, you can get in this. Start even just starting that video once a day for 30 days, whether it's on YouTube, social, increase your posting, double whatever you're doing. Focus on that. Be open to the things that are going to help, and do not rely on just the things that have worked in the past, especially if you're seeing a downward trend, right? Obviously, everything is going great. You're probably not even watching this video. You're probably like, I got it. But be aware, I'm alerting you to things that could potentially cause problems for you if you're not doing those, right? I have coaching clients that through their social media, through their groups, they are taking other people are now interested in them that even though they were top producers of their city that they were with, they are going with them now because they're seeing it. They're more engaged. They're getting more value. They're getting to know. They're getting to like and trust. So these things I know are having an impact. And I want to make sure that you're prepared, right? This also helps build out your AI profiles so that when AI is recommending, if you have more of these things, you're going to rank higher. We'll be doing a video on that to help out to build that out and some tips for that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if you're going to take some action, what you're going to do. If this was helpful, please subscribe to my free one for sure, my free coaching group, but get into paid when you're ready to take the next step, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and we'll be coming back. We'll see you tomorrow, right? All right. Thanks so much, and take care, and have a wonderful and amazing rest of your day. Win.